Welcome to Voice of India in our show, The Inspiring Stories. This is your host, Manish, Arora. Today we have one of the leading structural design consultant and president of the company, Godse and Associates, Mr. Godse. Welcome to the show, Mr. Godse.
Namaste. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity of coming here and interviewing.
Thank you for joining us.
Very nice of you. It's much appreciated.
You're welcome. Mr. Godse, as we discussed on phone, I think let's go back to 1960s. And we would love to know a little bit of your background and how you started working towards your career.
Okay. Basically, I grew up in a small village in Maharashtra, India.
Okay.
And I finished my high school close to it. And then instead of joining a sort of a clerk position in the post office, local post office, I decided I would like to go ahead and start for really a new degree or diploma, whatever the case may be, and move to Pune after the graduation.
Okay.
And then I enrolled in the Pune University and got my diploma in civil engineering.
Okay.
And while studying, after I finished my diploma, I worked for a year to get a practical experience in the construction industry. And going through the university, I did come across with Professor Divekar from Pune Engineering College and Mr. Ron Carter, who is the visiting professor from London, England. And they sort of encouraged me to try for further education, and they saw that I could do it.
So what was the thing they saw in you?
I love the hard work and good marks, and also working in Diwali, vacations, what have you, not wasting time, what have you, and earning some money to keep going for the education. So with that encouragement, I did come to England, London, England, and worked there for 2 years. And after that, I saw more opportunity again in Canada. So then I immigrated to Canada in September 1965.
Okay.
That's close to 50 years ago. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, after diploma in civil engineering, when I came to Canada, of course, Indian qualification, it was kind of difficult to get the job that I really wanted.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to think about it and start for higher education. That's where I enrolled into the Masters in Structural Engineering at the Ottawa University.
Okay.
And that really helped me a lot in progressing myself to a design engineer and eventually a chief engineer in one of the big company in Winnipeg, Moody Partners.
Okay.
And I was a chief engineer there, and I also associate member of the company for more than 7 years.
7 years.
Yes, I gained a lot of experience while I was working in that company, and eventually I decided to start my own. So I started my own company in April 1976.
Well, starting your own company in
Yes.
Canada is a great achievement. I would say, what inspired you to do that? I mean,
That's a good question. The inspiration came from the knowledge and also some of the clients whom I worked with while I was in the company.
okay.
Said that it will be sort of better for you for your further advancement in starting your own, and of course, it's financially to be a lot better off. So that's what inspired with the encouragement from the clients, and of course some of the big jobs which I have done in Winnipeg and somewhere else gave me the opportunity to really I can start on my own.
And I think you started your company in what year was that?
It was 1976.
76.
Yes,
76. So
in-
I think, so 76.
More than 45
almost
years now.
20,
Yeah.
more than 40 years. So please let us know about the great projects you did. We would love to hear the great buildings I think you mentioned the other day.
Yes.
So please let us know about that.
Okay. Actually, over the 50 years of my career in Canada and overseas, I have done hundreds of buildings. Notably in Winnipeg or Manitoba, the 25-story building, apartment building on York Avenue and Smith Street is one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Another building which is finished a couple of years ago is Canadians Hotel building.
Hotel Canada.
Yeah, behind the Health Sciences Center.
Okay.
Then I designed a Winnipeg stadium, the old one, which is demolished now.
Mm-hmm.
And on that particular project, I was the first engineer in Canada
Mm-hmm.
to introduce what you call a square tubular sections.
Square tubular
Tubular
sections.
sections, yeah.
Okay.
For the entire project.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
after that, of course, a lot of engineers followed the example of what I have done. And
Okay.
I helped them out, some consultant in Regina, Saskatoon.
And I think you had your offices all over Canada. I
Yes,
think at one
yes,
time, right?
yes.
So
And 80s. So anyway, coming back to the buildings, the number of buildings, RCMP building on Portage Avenue, I did that. Pharmaceutical buildings in Stanback, big one. A lot of apartments along the Pembina Highway and the river,
okay.
about 10 or 12 story buildings. I would have about more than 2 dozen apartments.
Mhm.
And also the shopping centers along the Pembina Highway, quite a number of them, yeah. So, those are the glimpses of the projects I can speak about, yeah.
Any particular areas of specialization you would like to discuss? Like where did you enjoy it the most? Like there are a lot of things in structural design, like some like the simple jobs like designing the steel, designing the piles, but there are some extraordinary things I think we were discussing that you would like to discuss with that.
Okay, in my opinion and based on my experience, every project has its own characteristics,
Details.
details to
Challenges.
come up with.
Yeah.
Depends on the location. For example, if I do a lot of work up north,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I try to keep the construction and the details and the design very simple so that the local people can implement those details.
Yeah,
in the
reducing the
construction.
cost, getting the local materials, local
Yes,
labor,
yes,
that
yes.
reduces a significant amount in the price of the
That adds to the economy.
budget.
Yeah. And also the local people take pride when the building is finished, like schools and community centers and some of the housing, I have done quite a few of them.
That's really interesting, like doing a total thought process till the end of the project. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well that's where, and coming back to the skills as I asked before, is coming up with the innovative designs leading to the economics and proper detailing in so that there is little problems in construction. That is the key, and I also specialize in earthquake design, seismic design.
That's
Yes, I did
amazing.
a couple of buildings in Victoria, BC,
Okay.
and some in Arora.
So
That's where go ahead, yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So what's the basic point when you consider when you design earthquake buildings?
Okay, but there are a number of things.
Just the basic thing, so that
Basic thing is you have to.
it's exciting for us.
Okay,
so-
yeah. The basic thing what you have to. Four things are important. One is the soil characteristics,
Mhm.
whether it's a rock
Yeah.
or sand or a clay, designing the foundation. Second thing is the sway, whether a two-story building or three-story building. Characteristics of the building, which is the one-story, two-story, 10-story. And the fourth one is, of course, coming up with an economical design leading to the material and the type of structure. It could be steel or it could be concrete. There are a number of ways of doing it. It depends on the location.
Well, what was the biggest challenge in your career you came across, like when you had to do a very difficult project, and we'd love to know how did you do it?
Yes. The biggest challenge I came across with number of projects is when the building is surrounded by the two sides streets, and the other side is also say back lane,
Okay.
and the other side is maybe a building,
Mm-hmm.
and where if you want to dig between the perimeter of the property, it's very difficult to either you close all the streets and it becomes really a problem. So what I have designed is called a unique shoring system.
Let me
Yes.
interrupt you. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
Before that, I would like to understand this very properly. I mean, it means I think what I'm getting is laying a foundation without an excavation, right?
Yes, that is what.
That's
that is
super
what-
interesting. I would like to know about it.
Yes, what you do is you sort of drill a hole from the ground, no excavation is required, and install the foundation, what we call the cantilever elements, because that when you excavate from inside,
Mm-hmm.
is subjected to the what you call the cantilever moment. So you do that, then then construct a what you call column, T-shaped column,
Okay.
and then have a provision for waterproofing to put it in with like a V shape.
Okay.
And when you carry on one by one, and then just do enough excavation between those columns and erect the precast wall, slab, wall, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you can excavate. That becomes a permanent structure for the perimeter of the or footprint of the building.
Okay.
And then you can bring the backhoe, start digging in. The water's composition loved that system.
So I think you were the one who started that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
That's
yes.
amusing
And
exciting, I would say.
yes, it was innovative. A lot of people used to come.
So this building was in US, I think you were mentioning. Where was this building you?
Oh, there was one building in that high-rise building in York and Smith. That's the one. And I also did one in Saskatoon. It's
Okay.
called Hallmark Towers.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's where I got some awards. That's
That's why I was coming to.
Okay,
Please
yeah.
let us know about the prestigious awards you
Yeah.
got, and also I think you got one of the biggest award, and we would like to know about that. What
Yes.
award is and what is that for?
Yes, again, for this precast assuring system that we discussed, the biggest award which I have is the Premier of Saskatchewan of Award for Design in Excellence. That's 1988. After that, I got a number of awards from the Association of Professional Engineers of Manitoba.
Okay.
It's called Engineers Societies Manitoba. One is the Honorary Life Membership, which is a recognition for the work, innovative ideas, and the designs that I have done in the past, and that's where this award is given. Second one is Fellowship of Engineers Canada, and I think that is the top award you can get
Yes.
for engineers. And And that was awarded because I was involved with associations, some of the committees,
Okay.
and contributing to the analysis of some of the engineers looking for the registration.
Mhm.
So I was a member of it's called Academic Review Committee
Okay.
for more than 10 years.
I mean, engineers who come from other countries to evaluate their studies and their credentials, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I usually go through their background, what have you. And association feel that with my experience in England and also from India, some of the applications from the Pakistan, whatever, most of the countries, I have an idea what their education system is. Excuse me. And I used to do a lot of work of that, Also, I was a common denominator, if that's the way you call it. Some people applied for the interviews to get some exemptions, and I was a main anchor along with some other people.
Apart from this, Mr. Godse has been involved in community. Also, he's been doing some activities, contributing to the community. Please let us know about that too.
Oh, I was involved with a number of committees. I did a door-to-door canvassing for Canadian Diabetes.
Okay.
Also the same thing with the Canadian Cancer Society for more than 10 years actually.
Okay.
And also I did a little bit for Heart and Stroke Foundation. That, and then I was involved with the Hindu Society. In fact, I designed the temple on St. Anne's.
St. Anne's. Oh, that's the I think biggest temple in the
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was involved in the design part of the design team, and then I make sure that the construction complies with this, the plans and specifications. So that's part of the services we render anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had an office in Saskatoon, I designed the temple in Saskatoon also.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of, and I was involved in many associations too. Yes.
And may I have a little bit of glimpse of your family, your children, if you don't mind? And so, where are your children? Kind of like you're looking towards you're joining your company, or like they have their own exciting plans about their careers.
On that note, I have 4 children. The daughter is Sujata, who is in Calgary. One son is in London, Ontario. Other son is in Mississauga.
Mm-hmm.
And the youngest one is in Winnipeg. They really didn't show any interest in getting involved or joining the company. So I left it up to them. If they're not interested, there is no point.
That's good too, yeah.
They have their own expertise to follow. I said that's good, and they're all doing well. And plus, I have 4 grandchildren, also one is a grandson and 3 granddaughters. They're all doing well too. So that's probably the family history.
Yeah, so we had a great time knowing about the innovations done by Mr. Godse. And before we wind up, so what would be your message to the community and the younger generation?
My message will be to get involved as much as you can in the community and contribute to your knowledge and help them if there is. Like I was part of the committee member for the seniors housing too for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to meet at the Hindu temple, asking for the advice and that kind of thing. Whatever I know structurally, I used to tell them, yes, that is the way to do it, or that is not the way to do it, and what are the reasons are, So that's my advice will be to get involved in the community, do as much as work you can, and you'll get a satisfaction.
And any inspiration towards their careers, like people are trying hard to, reach their goals.
On that note, I would suggest keep on trying different avenues to progress your career, get good jobs, and eventually you will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that drive to make sure that, yes, I can do it, and eventually you will do it.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Godse. We had a wonderful time with you. Thanks for coming here.
I appreciate and I really appreciate of coming here. Yes. Thanks. Namaste.